Hello everyone, Sebastian here. With such a big project as Lords of War, it's actually surprisingly difficult to start. There is always this tingling sensation that particular part is not a correct place to start a game dev project, and what's worse, it's not the nice kind of tingling too. And there isn't a really good solution for this issue. There is no best place that will be universally correct. It depends on many factors, relies mostly on hindsight, and at the end of the day, it's at least partially subjective. So I decided to begin with scene management. So let's get started. Concept of scene is prevalent in game engines. The name changes, it can be a map or level or a scene, but the purpose is mostly the same. It is an organization unit that the game can be split into and switch between as the gameplay continues. Man menu can be a scene, options menu, faction editor, game world view, combat screen. All of them can be separate scenes. Of course, they can exchange data between each other, but they are independent pieces of a puzzle the game is built with. Each scene has its own entity component system. Some scenes are just created, executed and then dropped, while others can always be in the background throughout the entire gameplay length. Since MicroStudio don't have a scene system built in, I can design my own. Scene system can be as complex or as simple as particular game needs, from complicated node-based multi-scene game worlds through few parallel scenes running at the same time, each with its own viewport, down to a modular game with full-screen scenes stacked one over another. Only limiting factor in designing scene systems are imagination and the level of programming skills. So I made a really simple one. Now you might think I'm being facetious here, but I actually did put a bit of thought into it. There are three main arguments for simplifying scene system as much as possible. First, and most important one, is the nature of the game itself. Lords of War will be turn-based strategy, which means everything else waits for the player to finish doing whatever they are doing right now. There is no need for multitasking too. Player will do one action at a time, and when they are done with everything, computer-controlled empires will do their own things, again one at a time. When player is buying new production options in one of their cities, they are not moving their units at the same time on the other end of the map. Because of this, scenes can be imagined as a stack of cards. As we go through main menu, then setting up the new game and up until the game view itself, new scenes are placed on top of the stack. Player can only see the top one, and only the top one is updated and drawn. In case of battle, new card with battle scene will be placed on top, and when the battle ends, it will be removed. This top card can be a battle scene, city management screen or hello level up message. Whatever it is, it will just be placed on top of the stack, and then when the player is done with it, it will be removed and discarded. And when the game ends, the entire game card will be discarded too, landing player back on the main menu. This aligns well with the second reason, technical limitations. MicroStudio works in 320 by 200 resolution, which makes designing readable UI quite a challenge. Expanding more complex windows to full screen will likely be mandatory anyway, so embracing this design and building the game's style around it seems like a good idea to me. The last reason is most prosaic one. Players just don't care about my scene management system. Scene management is a fundamental piece, but on its own it doesn't add any element of the actual game. At the same time, if it fails, everything else will just fall apart like a stack of cards. It must be as robust as possible, and making it simple lowers the number of points where it can fail. Sounds trivial, but it will hopefully save me a lot of headaches in the future. So, there it is, the foundation, the starting centerpiece of Lords of War. From now on, everything else that I will add to the game will be part of particular scene. And the first thing I'm planning on adding is that edge-scrolling camera I mentioned before. See you in the next video.